It's time for another musical interlude. Let's get started. Talking with people with music in their genes, their blood, and in their soul. You are watching Musical Interlude. Welcome to another episode of Musical Interlude. I am your host, Casey Bell, and today's guest is Michael Coleman, who is a writer and creator of See Your Shadow. Let's get this show started. The first question, when did you discover you were a musician?
Uh, you know, I think it had to be when I was really young. I started joining the orchestra when I was a kid, and that really was the pathway to everything that I do now. I remember there was a program in the town where I lived. I grew up in San Diego, and someone from the junior high school came to speak at our elementary school to try to court people to join the orchestra on the junior high school level. And so I fell in love with what that person had to say. His name was Harry Weisgerber. I'll never forget Mr. Weisgerber. And yeah, so I immediately went home and asked my mom if, hey, could I do this? And after some arguing and fussing and fighting, and she finally said yes, and that was the thing that started it all. And then I joined the band from there, and it just continued from there.
When did you decide it was something you would seek professionally?
Well, it's so funny because I was just thinking about this just a few minutes ago. 'Cause I was asked this question, and it wasn't until I had a milestone birthday that I really, and I'm not going to tell you which one it was, that I that I really said, you know what? There's too much talent here that's going to waste. I was at the time I was running a law firm in the San Francisco Bay Area, and when that milestone birthday hit, I said to myself, there's just too much talent that's going to waste here. I need to do something else that fulfills my passions more. And then I started on this path, and here we are.
So how did you know how to get started?
Well, I really didn't know. Really didn't know how to get started, and at that time the internet was newer, and so I had to do a lot of research, and I knew kind of what I wanted to do, but I didn't really know how. And of course, anybody that gets started in show business, you think that okay, well, it's something that I want to do, and then it's just an easy path to do it. Like an overnight sensation, and a lot of people don't realize that it takes a lot of work and a lot of you have to have a very thick skin because in those early days I got a lot of no's, and I'm sure that you probably have encountered that too, and a lot of naysayers, especially when I told folks that I want to do country and western music. I mean, people look at me like I was nuts, and well, that was always been my passion, though. So it just took a lot of research and just applying a lot of common sense that I learned up to that point, and then applying all of those resources moving forward.
So let's talk about your latest single, See Your Shadow. Who or what inspired you to write
Well,
that?
well, See Your Shadow is the name of the organization.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The name of the organization is See Your Shadow Songwriting, and that's the group that I lead. We're a collaborative network of singers, vocalists, musicians, and with me at the top here, and writing and producing all of the work that the collective puts together. We actually have two pieces out right now because we wanted to stick with our traditional country, which was our divorce piece, called "Today I Do, Became I Don't," and that's our traditional piece that we were. Last month we were number one, or was our third number one in on the iTunes charts in South Africa last month, but we're really focusing on our women's empowerment anthem, which is called "I Know My Worth," and that is, we're really excited about that, and that's the one that we're really pushing uh, right now because it's the first hip hop record done by a woman of color, and it's the first danceable record done with the banjo as the lead instrument, and it is a empowerment piece for women, and it's counting down to Women's International Women's Day on March 8th. And so we're really excited about that. And it's a portion of the downloads are going to the Rape Abuse Incest National Network to help support survivors of sexual assault. So yeah, so there's a lot of things going on that we're really super excited about. That piece has been received very well.
So now I have two follow-up questions. So the song, was that, did you write it, and was it inspired by personal experience or someone you know, the women's
No, no,
empowerment?
yeah, no, act well, that's a very good question, and well, I did write it. Yeah, and that's also one of the beautiful parts of the piece, because it's a women's empowerment anthem written by a man, and which was not easy to do, because to keep it authentic and really speak from that kind of voice, it wasn't an easy piece to write. And the story behind the piece is we put it together because my last year was 2019. I lost my mom in 2019, and while I was taking care of her, she opened up to me about several things that have happened in her life. And one of the things that I found out while I was taking care of her was that she was a victim of sexual assault multiple times throughout her life. And but I did not know that. And so and as a matter of fact, I'm the product of one of those sexual assaults, and so that got me to thinking about her life and about our relationship, and it just about it all things all started to make sense as to what her backstory was and our backstory was, as far as our relationship was concerned. And so I decided to do that piece not only as a tribute to her, but we decided to make it a fundraiser for Rain, because she didn't get the help that she should have gotten to help her cope. And I thought that there's other women out there that probably have gone through that and are not getting the help that they need.
Okay, thanks for that. The other question is, explain See Your Shadow, because it sounds like a band, but in the same breath, it doesn't sound like a band. So please explain it.
Yeah, you know what? We are very unique in terms of, yes, you would think that we're a band because we're a music creation entity. I think in the simplest way to put it, if anybody, if the audience knows music, think of it as I'm the Quincy Jones,
Okay.
and everybody underneath me are the ones doing my work. So so
Okay.
so so when you think about when he does an album or does a piece, it's always his name and moniker up at the top, and he has people underneath him performing his work. Now, another thing that makes us unique is the fact that we make the songs the stars of the song is the star, which is why songwriting is in our name. It's why it's called See Your Shadow Songwriting. The piece itself is a star. So many times people focus on the person who sings the piece, or the person that performs the piece, and when you do that, you can lose elements of the song, because people are more worried about, this person is too fat, or what's this person wearing? Oh, I don't like that person's hair, or you focus so much on the minutia of the superficial of the person that is performing the piece. you can lose the meaning of the piece, and that's why on our branding for the stuff that we put out, you don't see anybody on the cover. It's very simple, and in fact, even on this latest cover for I Know My Worth, my name's not even on it, because the focus is the piece itself.
And that's amazing. I actually wrote an article about theater because they've been discussing now how do they make Broadway more diverse, and I wrote an article saying just focus on the play, not the people, not the actors. If you
Exactly.
focus on the message, the actors don't matter because, like you say, if you do a play on sexual assault that happens in every family, everybody, the skin color or the height or the weight doesn't matter. So if you
Yeah.
focus on your message, people don't matter what they look like,
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's such a, and I think, and the fans of the work are just as much to blame as those that produce the work, because the fans get so caught up in the minutia of the superficial, and I think because that's how they're directed to be. And I think once we can start redirecting them to actually pay attention to the art, they enjoy it on a much higher level than they would just by either viewing that theater piece or listening to a song.
cool. So going back to producing music, when you first decided to just do it, was there anything you learned that are behind the scenes that kind of shocked you or caught you off guard about the music business?
Yes, the main thing that I learned early in those early days is that it's very complicated. How a piece comes to life is really intricate, and most people think that oh yeah, I'll go in those days. I'll go and buy a CD, and it comes. That's how it comes. I mean, I'll pick it off the shelf, and it just magically was that what was what I hear. A lot of people don't realize that so many steps go into place to creating each song that you hear, and it is just a really involved process, and that was a big learning curve for me, and and seeing how other people were just as passionate as I was about bringing something to life, that was very refreshing in those early days.
Amazing. Now I know your focus is on your two latest singles, but by any chance, are you starting to work on a new project, or you're just focused on what you have
Well,
out right
well,
now?
well. I'm always constantly thinking about what's next for See Your Shadow, and we probably we'll release another piece in the summer, and I don't know what it's going to be yet. I'm mulling around a couple of ideas and a couple of things that I may want to do. Some work that hasn't been put out, that hasn't been people aren't familiar with it, and so because it's a part of the catalog, and I've just been holding it tight, and so I may do something like that. I'm leaning towards putting out a piece celebrating diversity, and trying to get people to embrace diversity a little bit more. So I don't know, and there could be another dance record coming down the turnpike. Even though I said I would never do another dance record, and I ended up doing I Know My Worth. So I don't know. There's a lot of things that are mulling around in my brain here.
Okay. And my last question that I have for you is if you see your shadow, if you could, and this can be a pretend, a fairy tale if you want, question, is there anyone you're inspired to work with or collaborate with, whether they're dead or alive, someone you would really have or like to work with in the studios?
Ooh, there is so many. But I think I will make it more personal. How's this? In my early days, I encountered a guitar player. His name was Jeff Smith. Okay, and he was probably one of the best guitar players that I've ever have seen. He's the lead on my piece, Like a Kid Again, which is the first country and western hip hop piece that was ever done. And he died suddenly. He died before we could get that. He died, and then a few weeks later, the piece was picked to be in a movie. And so he worked his entire career trying to get to achieve that level, and he got to it before, and it came after his death. I would love to work with him again, given the fact that everything that has happened since he's been gone, and 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 he was just such a tremendous talent. And there are so many musicians. It's the musicians that really breathe the life into, especially country music, the Nashville session players and the different people that you don't know who they are, but you hear them every day. And those people are the unsung heroes. And for me, I would love, if he was still alive, for us to continue to do more work that we've done.
Demand, rise up, speak up, it's time to take a stand. I'm worthy. I'm worthy, worthy. I'm worthy, worthy. I'm worthy, worthy. Say I know my worth. 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 Doing the same job for pennies on a dollar, putting up with the cheating and the baby mama drama, getting all your loving from a man who ain't real, forgiving all the pain that he makes you feel, acting like you're crazy, going out of your mind when you only have one life. You ain't got the time, being treated like a queen is what you deserve. Rise up, speak up, let your voice be heard. I'm worthy. I said I'm worthy. I said I'm worthy. I said
That is all the time we have for you today on Musical Interlude. Thank you so much for stopping by. Michael Coleman, I want to thank you for being our guest, and to our audience, thank you for watching. And don't forget, if you should download the song I Know My Worth, Know Your Worth by Michael Coleman, and See Your Shadow, proceeds go to Rain Organization. Thank you again. Have a great day.